Honorable Matara proposed. Honorable Seto Kumu seconded. Now we are going to the introduction. I'm Honorable Ken Ouko, Chairman Picpac County Assembly of Kisumu, a member of West Kisumu Ward.
I'm Warindo Geoffrey, Vice Chair Picpac and MCA representing Miwani Ward.
My name is Seto Kumu, MCA is and a member of this committee.
I'm Honorable James Ochieng Omolo. I represent West Nyakach, a member of this committee. Thank you.
I'm Nancy Matara Ochieng, a member of this committee.
Austin Nyamwaya, Committee Clerk.
I'm Joseph Aranja, Deputy Director of Audit, Office of the Auditor General, Kisumu Regional Office.
Thank you, Chair. I'm Margaret Moronge, Office of the Auditor General, Kisumu Region. Thank you.
Back to the accounting officers.
Thank you, Chair. My name is Ochieng Bovins, the Chief Officer in charge of Education, Technical Training, Innovation and Social Services, County Government of Kisumu.
Thank you. My name is Wilkista Odera, Director ECD.
Thank you, Chair. Thank you, Chair. CPA Jaffe Thorwa, the Fund Accountant. Thank you.
I'm Thaddeus Omono.
Thank you so much for honoring the invite. We want to administer the hot. Sergeant Atam, friendly.
I, Mr. Bovins Ochieng, do solemnly and sincerely swear that every word that I shall utter before the Public Accounts and Investments Committee is the truth and nothing but the truth, and that every statement and declaration that I shall make shall be made consciously, believing the same to be true and according to the oaths and the Statutory Declarations Act. So help me God.
Kindly. May I confirm from the clerk whether they received the responses from the management in time?
That we did.
Okay, thank you. May I confirm from the Office of Auditor General whether they received the responses from the management in time?
Thank you, Chair. We received the management responses on time.
Thank you. Before we invite the auditor, maybe you we'll have some time now to confirm what you have done so far with the recommendations and resolutions we passed in the Assembly in the last financial year audited statement. Thank you. That is now to the management.
Thank you, Chair, for giving me this opportunity, and honorable members. As the fund administrator and as the management, yes, we did receive House resolution dated 25th July 2024. Of course, copy to the department in regards to ensuring that the county treasury is able to transfer the funds that are meant for the education fund within the first 2 quarters of the financial year. We accompanied the copy with a letter as a department to the county treasury, of course, reminding them of the same and the need why that particular fund needs to be transferred to the account for us to not disrupt the education of those who are needy and those that the county government of Kisumu is supporting. Secondly, there were issues that were actually raised by the auditor, and they have been there, including the issues to do with the record keeping, cash books, the ledgers, and so on and so forth. As administration, we've done our best in ensuring that those particular books are there, and the recommendations that were given as per the issues that were also raised by the auditor, we've also managed to address them in the subsequent financial statements that we provided to the auditor's office. So this will actually be confirmed based on even the financial statement that we just submitted for the last financial year. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Before I give it to the auditors, it is very clear that the prior year issues were not solved. Now you will be having opportunity to defend yourself on that, because the auditors are also here, you are also here. So that is a good opportunity to confirm that really you have worked on the resolutions of the House. Thank you. May I take this opportunity to the auditors? What is the auditor's opinion and what actually informed the decision of the auditor? Thank you.
Thank you, Chair. Before us is the report of the Auditor General of Kisumu County Education Fund for the year ended 30th June 2023. And the report is divided into 3. There is report on financial statements, which was an adverse opinion. And there was emphasis on the matter, other matter on unresolved prior year issues, and report on lawfulness and effectiveness in use of public resources. We received the management responses on 4th October, and we've been able to verify them, and we submitted the verification report to the clerk. And the report is as follows. Paragraph number 1, that basis for adverse opinion, unsupported cash and cash equivalents. The report, the statement of financial position reflects a balance of Kenya shillings 36,347,889 in respect to cash and cash equivalents, which, as disclosed in Note 3 to the financial statements, includes a balance of 8,455,221 in respect to an amount held in a commercial bank account, and the note does not cast the total balance of Kenya shillings at 6,347,889. In addition, the casting difference of Kenya shillings 27,892,668 has not been explained or reconciled. Further, the bank reconciliation statement includes payments in bank statement not recorded in cash book of Kenya shillings 217,590, which relates to bank charges. However, no explanation was provided as to why these payments were not posted to the cash book. In the circumstances, the accuracy and completeness of cash and cash equivalent balance of Kenya shillings 36,347,889 could not be confirmed.
Back to the management.
Thank you, Chair. This is the management response on the basis of adverse opinion as guided by the auditor. The unsupported cash and cash equivalents. We agree with the auditor in regard to the casting difference of Kenya shillings 27,892,668, which is attributed to periods during which the fund was not maintaining cash books and preparing monthly reconciliations. These errors can only be cured by adjusting for prior transactions which were paid but not entered into the cash book. The adjustment has been already done in the report for the financial year 2023-2024, and there's an annex one that is attached to the same. The management inadvertently forgot to record bank charges of Kenya shillings 217,590 in the fund's cash book. The error is highly regrettable, and in the subsequent period, and that is the financial year 2023-2024, all bank charges have been recorded in the cash book and monthly reconciliation prepared. The cash book and monthly bank reconciliations have been presented to the auditors for verification of the same. Thank you.
Back to the auditors.
Thank you, Chair. Although the management is talking about reconciliations, we still need to have journal entries to confirm those adjustments. Yes, they say they have done in the subsequent year or the current year under review, which is 2023-2024. And I know the exercise is yet to start, I think next week, if I'm not wrong. But still we need to know how those balances have moved. Where are the support documents? Where are the journal entries for those balances to be revised? So the issue still remains unaddressed until they give the journal entries to adjust those balances. Thank you.
You have something to say?
Yeah, let me give the fund accountant maybe an opportunity to respond to that.
Yes, Chair. I do agree with the auditor on the need to provide the journals explaining how the reconciliations have been done. We have the journals, Chair, and we thought that when they are coming to review the financial year 2023-2024, we'd provide them with those journals to make them review the reconciliations. We just didn't carry them because we knew they would be coming and we would have them during the audit field work. That was I want to confirm, Chair, that the journals are available and they will be reviewed during the audit field work for the financial year 2023-2024. I thank you, Chair.
instead of doing it at the right time.
Thank you, Chair. Allow me to start with the last question. The fund has a budget of Kenya shillings 205 billion. That's what we had in the financial year 2022-2023, the year we are reviewing. But let me explain the 27,892,668. There were periods, Chair, in which the funds was not maintaining cash book and doing monthly reconciliation. So the 27 million is not a lost money, but a differences in book reconciliation. Because if you don't have a cash book and a reconciliation, then the reconciliations are not properly done. So the 27 million is just a book differences, but not that we have lost. Not working either. But not that the fund has lost a whole 27.8 million. They're just a book entries which occurred because there are periods, long periods in the past, not even the year under review, where the fund was not maintaining cash book and preparing monthly reconciliations. In fact, that issue was flagged off by the auditor, and that's why that difference of 27.8 million is there. I thank you, Chair.
But really, in the auditing, how did you expect the auditor to understand your accounting without breakdown? Because that is the issue. If it is not a lost money, you should have broken almost everything so that every item be seen very clearly.
Chair, you are right. It is because of the breakdown that the auditor was able to see it as a reconciliation difference. Otherwise, if there were no breakdown, they would have not seen it. But I'm saying we have prepared ledgers, journal entries to support that balance of 27.8. So I believe it's a matter we are going to resolve in the next 2 weeks. Thank you, Chair.
First, if you have anything.
Chair, not much, but maybe going by the management response. And the management is saying that one, the 27 million which is attributed to periods in which the fund was not maintaining cash book and doing monthly reconciliation. That is point number one. And two, on the same management response, that the management inadvertently forgot to record bank charges of 217,000. That the management was not maintaining cash book, and they also forgot. And I just want to know this particular officer who was not keeping, I believe it's not CPA, Japheth Orwa, because that title is just too big for you to forget. Because I believe amongst the many responsibilities that you're having in the county government, this is the key that you are holding. And remember, you're having a CPA K. So, responding that you forgot, to me, I don't know. I think it needs much more action, Honorable Chair. And admitting that you are not keeping cash book, admitting before the committee and the auditor that you aren't keeping cash book. Because this is not the first time that you are running this fund. I mean, this is not the only year. It's not, I mean, you've been running it from 20, I don't know when you became the fund accountant, but I know I've seen your name in several audit reports. So when you're still maintaining, responding that you forgot and you're not maintaining cash book, Honorable Chair, there is a problem. Thank you, Chair.
I can see CPRY is, you have something to say?
Chair, the issue of cash book is true, but it did not happen in the year under review. We are saying prior periods, 4 to 5 years ago, which cash books were not maintained. So those balances have been piling up. That is number one. So the absence of a cash book did not occur in the financial year 2023. Otherwise, the auditor would have mentioned that there was no cash book. So in that year, there was a cash book, but in the prior periods, it was not there, and bank reconciliations. I may not be able to say who was there then, but you are dealing with the records. So if the records were not there, With respect to the bank charges of 217,590, no, bank charges accrue evenly, and we record them at the end of every month. So this was just a 1 month entry that was not done in the cash book. Otherwise, other months in the past were recorded. It was just an omission in a 1 month. It's not done in the cash book, and that's what the auditor flagged off. We agree with them. The bank charges must be transferred from the bank statement to the cash book. They are right to point it out, and we are saying in the subsequent period, Chair, we have ensured that all the bank charges have been transferred from the bank statement and recorded in the cash book, and the evidences are there for their review. I thank you.
Honorable Member.
Yeah, we also agree with the auditor, and we agree with CPA. The question is why? The question is how do you forget such important? Because the way he's mentioning, it's like he knew it's supposed to be done, but he just didn't do it. And that's what we are asking right now. So that when we are moving forward, as you have mentioned, we are assured that you can do it. Because maybe you didn't know, the person who is doing it didn't know. We agree with what the auditor has mentioned. That's why we are here. We are now asking, why has this happened? That's what you are not responding to. Is it deliberate, or was it by design? Or is it by default? That's where we are.
Surely you have to account for what is given to you as a department. It is a requirement that you have to account for what is there, and this is why we have accountants within the department. So how comes it is not convincing how you miss to do this? Because if it is a prior year issue, it will always appear in any year. It will always appear. We can't ignore that. And you will always be answering these questions. So for you to start or stop answering these questions, you have to prepare what is called a breakdown. But before you do that, you have to explain very clearly what happened that it did not capture. It was not captured very clearly in the financial statement required by the auditor.
Chair, as I said earlier, we have 12 months in the whole financial year. So in our reporting, the first 11 months bank charges were recorded in the cash book. But unfortunately, the last month of the financial year, just a single month, where the bank charges were around 217,590, was not recorded. I want to admit that it happened. It was not intentional, Chair. These things do happen. But we promise that in the going forward now, we will ensure that all the bank charges are recorded in the cash book, reconciliations are prepared, and that all the transactions are done. Chair, thank you.
Honorable Molo.
Thank you. Listening to the management, Mr. Chair, this going forward has been the song. In our previous meeting, going forward, and now again going forward. Next year, the same thing will happen. So I don't know. How do we end this going forwards every now and again? Because the glaring mistake which is there has to be rectified so that we don't have this going forwards. Thank you.
You can remember we gave you a question at the start of the exercise. Did you act on the resolutions? You said you acted on them. And now the first question is talking about prior year issues. And these are the issues you said were sorted out. So where are we standing? Maybe you can sum up with the first question from Honorable James and the last one from the chair.
Mr. Chairman, professionally, Chair, when an error is detected, the best thing is to correct that error. And how do we correct? I just go back to the auditor, said we have to do a journal entry because in this financial year, it means the expenditure was understated by 217,590. So we have to do a journal entry to reinstate expenditure back by 217,590. And we are saying that the error occurred, we regret, but now we have rectified it. And the journal entries are available for the auditor's verification. That's the best I can do, Chair. Thank you.
Now that you had a management meeting with auditor and these issues really came out very clear, do you have the breakdown with you so that it be presented now? Because this was issue, actually before you came to the house, you had a management meeting with auditor, and these were issues which were raised, and you knew them. Do you have anything to present as evidence now so that we present to the auditor?
Chair, as I said, I didn't carry the journal entries because procedurally the auditors don't review them in the assembly, but they review them when they come for the next year's audit. So they are available for the review when they will come for the next year's audit. But honestly, I didn't carry them because it didn't appear to me that the assembly would want to see them. I regret for that, Chair. Thank you.
So may I like to tell the fund managers that this is the last opportunity given to you by law. If you have anything to correct, you can bring it now. So that when we are doing our report, we include it that it was done so that it doesn't come as a prior year issue again. That is one thing. So the opportunity is what is known very clear. This is the opportunity given to you by law. If you can't exploit it, you are waiting for another issue. We'll have to sort it out when time comes. But we must tell you very clearly that we must be very clear on our report writing, so that the account is suspect. But had it that you did what is expected of you and provided to you by law, you would have squared all these matters. So still, if you want to answer those issues in the coming year, it's fine. Yeah.
And I just want to ask CPA Jaffet, assuming there was no next year audit, assuming the fund was rewound, so what would you be waiting with the documents? Because the auditor would not be coming then. Your justification for not bringing the document because you are sure the auditor will come in the next financial year. Assume we wound up the fund.
Mr. Chairman, in accounting, we have something called going concern. The way we looked at the fund, it did not appear to us that the fund may be wound up anytime. So we knew that the fund would go and go and go. The going concern concept. You know, there are indicators showing that this company can close the next year. But you look at the fund, those indicators are not there. So the fund is still a going concern and will still attract the external experts, including the auditors, coming in. I thank you, Chair.
Honorable Were first, then I give Omolo.
Thank you, Chair. Chair, this is a scenario where you are invited to a court of law to defend yourself. You've been given an opportunity to bring all the necessary evidences so that the judge can find it deemed fit that you are cleared of all the charges, and you still make excuses. Chair, I don't think we are following the right path.
Chair, my advice would be, I think we have to dispense of this financial year so that we just be safe next year. He's saying we are sure of next year. No, how sure are you? This is an act of parliament which can be recalled anytime. Even tomorrow the county assembly sits and it's recalled and we are done with it. So the fund is not really for life. It can end any day, even tomorrow. Thank you.
Thank you, members. You can remember there was also a proposal to consolidate all the funds. So we don't know whether it's going to go through or not through. So maybe CPN or Y is not aware about this. Anything can happen. There's nothing static. But during the time you are in office, you have to be accountable. You have to clear your books because each and every financial year comes with its implications. So we'll make a determination on that. But it's going to be severe so that you don't answer the way you are answering questions here. This House of Rules, Law, and Order. We don't expect a person in charge of such kind of an exercise to answer the way you are answering. But we'll make a determination on that. The matter is not solved. Person 2.
Thank you,
thank you.
Chair. And maybe before question 2, I don't know if I'm allowed, maybe to assist the management on issue number 1 is that if you keep your cash book properly, the way it's required, and then you do monthly reconciliations, the way it's required also, the issue of forgetting other items will not be there, because reconciliation will for sure indicate to you all those items which have not been included or omitted. So let's stick to proper maintenance of the cash book and monthly bank reconciliations to avoid the many going forward that we've said in the House. Thank you. So on question number 2 is on unsupported disbursements. The statement of financial performance reflects an amount of Kenya shilling 103,585,366 in respect to use of goods and services. That is disbursements which relate to disbursements of bursaries and scholarships as disclosed in Note 2 to the financial statements. However, the report amount of Kenya shilling 97,210,746 for scholarships and 6,374,620 on bursaries does not agree with the supporting ledgers provided for audit, which reflected scholarships amount of 61,615,413 and the bursaries amount of Kenya shilling 1,909,850, resulting to unexplained variances of Kenya shilling 35,595,333 and Kenya shilling 4,464,770 respectively. The variances have not been explained or reconciled. In addition, out of the list of 100 schools, out of the list of 100 schools with disbursement of 1,909,850 in respect of bursaries to 6 schools with disbursed amount of 1 million, did not acknowledge receipt of the amounts. Further, the basis of the scholarships and bursaries awarded was not supported by any documentation such as applications and vetting committee minutes. In the circumstances, the accuracy and completeness of the disbursements amounting to Kenya shilling 103,585,366 could not be confirmed. Thank you, Chair.
Back to the management.
Thank you, Chair. And this is the management response in regard to the issue. Chair, the matter was initially raised in the management letter under paragraph 4.2 and supported disbursement of Kenya shillings 103,585,366 Kenya shillings. The management replied to the management letter and attached hard copy ledgers supporting the variance of Kenya shillings 35,595,333 and 4,464,770 Kenya shillings for scholarships and bursaries respectively. There's an attachment in Annex 2 as indicated to that effect. Chair, this one we came with evidence and supporting document. In the management letter under paragraph under the same paragraph, the auditor flagged off 8 schools which received funding but had not provided acknowledgement receipt by the time of the audit. The management, in its response to the report, attached acknowledgement receipts for the following 2 schools. That is Naivasha Girls High School of Kenya shillings 40,535 for the bursary, for the scholarship, and then we have Moi Nyabohanze Girls Secondary School, Kenya shilling 619,216. The remaining 6 schools were flagged off in the draft audit report under paragraph 2, titled Unsupported Disbursement, to which the management provided 5 acknowledgement receipts from the following schools. We have Ambira High School, amount is 324,280 Kenya shillings. Moroni Secondary School, 162,140 Kenya shillings. Bungoma High School, 162,140 shillings. Javakali Boys High School, 160,662 Kenya shillings. Mwongori High School, 35,000 Kenya shillings. Total is 849,757 Kenya shillings. It is only Nairobi School which did not provide the acknowledgement receipt for Kenya shillings 160,662, which was disbursed to them. The management provided internet banking statement confirming disbursement to the school as attached in Annex 3, and that one is already attached. The application and vetting processes is done by the ward education bursary and scholarship committees established under Part 4 of the Kisumu County Education Fund Amendment Act 2016. The management provided the signed minutes of the ward bursary and scholarship committee in the response to the draft audit report, and those particular minutes are also attached under Annex 4 here on the management response. Thank you, Chair.
Back to the auditors.
Thank you, Chair. By the time we did the verification of the response, this is what came out of the response. That the reconciliation or the finance of 35 million, that is in respect of the bursaries, and the 4 million for scholarship, they were not explained. Then acknowledgement receipts of 1,010,689 was not included in the response report. Then applications / vetting committee minutes were also not provided. Thank you, Chair.
Back to if you have something to say.
Yeah, Chair, we've indicated that the documents were provided, and we also attached as annexed 2 in regards to the ledgers, and Annex 3 in regards to the receipts of acknowledgement or acknowledgement receipts from the institutions that benefited from this particular fund. And then Annex 4 in regards to the minutes as per the ward bursary and scholarship committee. So those particular documents have been provided. Thank you.
But if you are not reading from the same script, you talk about something different, and the Auditor General's office is talking about something different. Or okay, back to the members.
Chair, just to emphasize on that, it's like one of them is lying. And we just want to know who, because the auditor is saying he does not have those documents. Chief is saying they were provided. So if you provided them, who did you provide them to? Who did you give the documents? Thank you, Chair. So that we know who is lying to the committee.
Okay, thank you, Chair. Let me give the fund accountant opportunity to respond.
Thank you, Chair. The issue of the variance of 35,595,333 and 4,464,770 first arose during the audit fieldwork. Chair, we replied to the management letter from the auditor and we attached those documents to support our response to the management letter. We have copies of the management letter to confirm that those documents were attached. But all the same, if the auditor is saying they were not attached, we have attached them here, Chair, so we can still use them as evidence. That is one. Number two, with regard to the schools that did not provide.
Just before that, on a point of order, okay, given to you.
Chair, we have a management response document here with us. This is what you provided to the Assembly, and I believe this is what you provided to the Office of the Auditor General. Chair, any other submission before the committee can only be done procedurally, because we cannot discuss a document that we do not have before us, and the Office of the Auditor General is also saying that they do not have those documents. So if they have an extra document, they can request you, request the committee through you so that they provide us. But right now, let's agree that the document that they are talking about and that the auditor has said they did not receive does not form part of the submissions that you gave as responses to the audit queries. I think when we agree on that, then we shall have known who is telling us the truth and who is not telling us the truth first before CPA Orua can continue. Thank you, Chair.
Maybe for the matter of facts, you can pinpoint very clearly where the documents are, because this is now what is given to the Assembly. And we have gone through this and found nothing. At the same time, he's complaining or asserting that he gave them out. So if we don't have it here, and the auditor is also confirming that it is not here, how comes talking about submitting that? Maybe he's here to pinpoint where it is in this response.
Mr. Chairman, if you look at Annex 2, the same document that I have, which I gave to the Assembly, which I gave to the Auditor General, Annex 2 is a list of beneficiaries for scholarship and the bursaries, totaling to 35 million.
Just you want to see that Annex 2? We are not. Is which page? I agree. Okay.
Mr. Chairman.
Thank you.
The document we have been given to look at is not what we submitted to the clerk of the Assembly.
Is it stamped?
The letter I have is dated 4th October. Let me explain, Chair. You had initially invited us to come to, this is not the first time you are inviting us. We had initial responses which we gave based on that invitation. Now, later when we got to the next invitation, we upscaled our responses and we gave out a new response to the clerk. It seems you have carried the old version instead of carrying the most current version, which I gave to the clerk's office. I thank you, Chair.
May I confirm from the Office of the Auditor, which responses do you have? Is it the one they're talking about or the second one? And you know, the second invite was in respect of the first invite because we failed. There was nothing to change there. If there was something to change, it was upon you now to explain that it changed and it was to go through the auditor. So may I know from the auditor's office, which responses do you have?
Thank you, Chair. The response we have is dated 4th October 2024. 4th October 2024. Thank you.
And is it stamped?
Yes, Chair. It's stamped.
And did you have the first one? The first response?
Yes, the first response was on 30th July. 30th July.
Yes. And once a report is submitted to the assembly, there is what we call due diligence. That's a way. Would you please prove that you provided the response of 4th October 2024 to the assembly?
Yeah, as we try to prove that we provided the response, I want to say to the House that we received a letter dated 26th September 2024. And on the receipt of the same letter that was dated 26th September, I made a response as a chief officer and as a fund administrator in response to that. And that is what the auditor is actually having. And we actually submitted the same to this particular committee. What I think other members are actually having is a letter that was dated 29th July before this particular letter came, that was signed by another chief officer before I was there. But personally, as an accounting officer, I responded to this particular letter that I received. And that is what we have, and that is what we shared. Thank you.
What we may like to do, only to confirm, do you have how do you do your mailing? You present such kind of document to the assembly. How is it done?
Thank you, Chair. Normally, we receive communication from the assembly through the county secretary to the department, and wherever we are making a response, we do the same, where we write to the assembly through the county secretary, and that is always the procedure. Thank you.
How do you confirm whether the responses are there or not there? No, you never did the invite to us. We are the committee which did the invite.
Normally, wherever we deliver a letter, there's always what we call a delivery note. That is from the department to the office of the county secretary. And the office of the county secretary, upon the receipt, when they're delivering their correspondences to particular offices, they also have a delivery note. So that is always the procedure. And unfortunately, we didn't carry the delivery note to confirm that our response were actually delivered to offices. But I'm sure, beyond reasonable doubt, that we actually submitted this particular document. Thank you.
Thank you, Chair. Chair, you realize that we are talking about two different responses. As the Office of the Auditor General was acknowledging that they received responses, we did not know that she had two responses. The original response that reached the Assembly and another maiden response that was done by the current Chief Officer. Chair, we are having the old one. There is nothing to prove that the response was given to the Assembly. All the department can mention is they send the response to the office of the county secretary. So we need to find out if that response really reached the Assembly before we can proceed, because we are handling two different responses and putting CPA Orua with questions on some of the issues that he has responded to maybe appropriately, but without which I think I request that we suspend this meeting for 10 minutes to confirm if the response reached the assembly, and then we take responsibility and get a copy for the members so that we proceed with the meeting in a manner that everybody has the same response to the audit queries. Thank you, Chair, and I ask the Honorable Jemo to second.
Chair, since the auditor also confirmed they have a different response, we members have a different one, and we've been really struggling, and you could see the CPA thinking that we had the information he has, while we don't have. So I second that we hold brief, then we get these responses copied to us. Thank you.
So, members, when you talk about adjournment and you know, are you proposing for an adjournment? Yes. Okay. So if it is a suspension, yes, we don't debate on that. We just allow for a brief consultation. And may I direct the office of the Sergeant at Arms to briefly usher out our visitors so that we consult. You can leave us with a copy of a response you have. there's a collective responsibility for the county assembly, for the executive, and for the auditor's office. Always there must be a way forward on issues, especially when we have a stalemate like the one we had. Madam Auditor, you are talking about CPA Rua was talking about presenting some documents, and you are saying you don't have such kind of documents. Maybe you can pick from there.
Thank you, Chair. What I said was that the documents were presented. So going through the documents, we had again a few reservations, which I pointed out. For example, in the acknowledgement receipts, the 1 million has not been included in that response. That response, they did. Only that now with that, those few exceptions. Thank you.
I think the concern of the auditor is 1 million. Do you have anything to support the note acknowledging that?
Yes, Chair. The 1 million is not a disbursement to one school. It is the total of disbursement to several schools. So we have attached acknowledgement receipts accounting for the entire 1 million from different schools. I thank you, Chair.
Which page?
From Annex 3, you get the acknowledgement receipts. We begin with the one for Naivasha Girls of Kenya shillings 40,535. I believe you are there, Chair. Yes, Monya Bwanze, Chair, we are together. In fact, Monya Bwanze, I've got two. There's one for 214, 216, together with an acknowledgement receipt. And there's also one for 405,000. Then from Monya Bwanze, we have Ambera High School 162, 140. Then Ambera again of 210. So the two put together comes 324, 280 for Ambera High School, Chair. Then we have one for Muhoroni Secondary School, 162, 140.
That is in respect to 1 million.
Yeah, I'm giving a breakdown of the 1 million because it is on several schools.
Okay, we can start again.
Naivasha High School, Kenya shillings 40,535. Chair, the next one is for Monya Bwanze. Monya Bwanze has in fact given us two receipts. The first one is 214, 216. The next one is 405,000. So Monya Bwanze alone is 619, 216 accounted for. Chair, the next one is for Ambira High School. The first one is 162. The next one, Chair, is 210 from the same Ambira School. So the two put together should be 324 to 80. The next one, Chair, is for Muhoroni Secondary School. Shillings 162,140.
Is it the one in so black?
Yeah, the photocopy is so black, but it is readable, Chair. The next one is for Bugoma High School, 151,070. There's a rubber stamp. I can see it from my copy, but it's not very eligible, but there is a rubber stamp. I said from Moroni we go to Bungoma High School, 151,070. Then we have the first Chavakali of 53,554. The next Chavakali is 107,108. So the two put together should be 160,662. Then finally we have Mungori Secondary School, Kenya shillings 40,535. So, Mr. Chairman, if you are adding, and the only variance we have is the one for Nairobi School, which didn't provide acknowledgement receipt, but we have given the internet banking receipt to confirm that this amount indeed went to Nairobi School. And that's how the 1 million is accounted for, Chair. I thank you.
Any other? CPA, is that your, is it confirming your figure?
Mr. Chairman, without Nairobi, I'm getting 1,509,508. Thank you.
Thank you, member.
Chair, going by that, the auditor requested acknowledgement receipts of 1,010,689. Whatever we are having is way more than the requested receipts. So I'm not sure which specific receipts the auditor was interested in, so that we know we are answering the same audit question. Because if I was to add those figures, whatever number, I don't see at what point they will have the 689. That at the end tells me if I pick any of those numbers, I know you know maths, and you add them, I don't know at what point we are going to get the 9 at the end from all those figures that we are having there. So I don't know which specific receipts the auditor was interested in. So if we to know which specific receipts he was interested in, then we can figure out if it's captured in the 1.5 million that we are talking about. Thank you.
Maybe back to the auditor, because it is way above what is expected by your office.
Okay, from the response they gave, when we were going through, so from the documents given, we realized that it's not adding up by that 1 million. It's not inclusive in that response. So there's that variance of 1 million.
1 million.
Yeah, from the overall.
But it is they are confirming it is more than by 500 and something. What do we do with 500 something? Because
I think the problem here is that from the query which was raised, he ought to have tabulated exactly what brings that variance. If we could have come up with a table indicating the various receipts amounting to the amount in question, it could have been very clear. But now from the Nini you cannot tell, but him he knows.
Yeah.
So maybe we can give him time to bring it out specifically which receipts add up to the same amount. Thank you.
No, Madam Moderator, it is raising a lot of interest. If you are asked to account for 1 million and you are accounting for 1.5 or 6, there must be something hidden. Could you please just come clear and tell us how the 500, or you misquoted the amount given to the auditor?
Chair, thank you. I think there should be clarity based on the response, the management response that we gave, where we had indicated that initially on the management letter, there were 8 institutions that did not provide the acknowledgement receipts. And in our response, we gave 2, and that is Naivasha Girls High School and Moi Nyabohanze. And therefore, when we were having finally what we call the draft audit report, there were 6 schools. Now these schools, which are highlighted as 6, is what is totaling to the variance which we are mentioning, or which the auditor is talking about, and that is of 1,010,689. And I want to go specific and checking critically also by the response. We prepared a table of the same. We had Ambera High School, 324,000. No, it's not annexed. It's just on the letter, response letter that we provided, page 2, the second page. Just page 2. So we are to capture the 6, and the 6 includes Ambera High School, Moroni Secondary School, Bungoma High School, Chavakali Boys High School, Mongiri High School. So the total amount that was dispersed to this particular institution, together with the Nairobi school, is what amounts to 1,010,689. And if you, the figure that honorable members were adding were including the one for Naivasha and Moi Nyabohanze, which had already been dispensed with. So we should be adding the figures for Ambira High School, Moroni Secondary School, Bungoma High School, Chavakali Boys, Mongori, and that is summing up to 849,757 Kenya shillings. If you add together with 160 for Moi, which we had indicated that we didn't get the acknowledgement letter, but we had been able to provide the internet banking statement for the same, then you get the figure that is in question by the auditor. Thank you.
This was from your accountant. He was the one explaining everything to justify the 1 million, and he went further and exceeded.
Yeah, that's why, honorable member, as a fund administrator, I'm making that clarity so that we are in the picture of the figure that we are talking about. And actually, if you sum them, it fits into what we are actually trying to understand. Thank you.
Okay. So to that extent, Madam Auditor, what would you say?
I think up to that point, it's now clear, except for the Nairobi school, which has not been given.
What do you think about Nairobi School, because this is an audit issue? How do you want to approach it?
Mr. Chairman, we have had a communication with Nairobi School to provide us with acknowledgement receipt for this money. They confirm having received the money, but they are very slow in issuing the acknowledgement receipt. We can do a reminder letter to them, a reminder communication to them to provide this evidence. Chair, thank you.
So we are giving you 1 week to avail the documents concerning Nairobi to the House. Is it right?
It is right, Chair. We thank you for that.
Thank you. Next question to the auditor.
Thank you, Chair. Budgetary control and performance. The statement of comparison of budget and actual amounts reflects total receipts budget of 205 million against actual receipts of 102,500,000, resulting to a shortfall of 102,500,000, or 50% of the budget. Similarly, the fund expended 107 million against an expenditure budget of 205, resulting to an under expenditure of 97 million, or 47% of the budget. The underfunding and the underperformance affected the planned activities and may have impacted negatively on service delivery to the public. Thank you, Chair.
Back to the management.
Yeah, Chair, this is the management response in regards to emphasis of matters, and that is under the budget controls and performance. Yes, we do agree with the auditor that the fund experienced funding challenges during the financial year under review, thus rendering it unable to perform its planned activities within the stipulated timelines. We raised this concern with the Assembly Committee in charge of education, technical training, innovation and social services for their intervention on the same. And in my opening remarks, I indicated that we got a communication dated 25th July 2024 in regards to House resolution that the County Treasury be able to transfer the funds to the fund account within the first 2 quarters of a financial year. So that is the progress that I wanted to, I need to actually bring to the knowledge of this House. The outstanding amount during the time of audit of 102,500,000 Kenya shillings. We later received the amount in full and disbursed it to the schools to cover the scholarship and bursary awards for that financial year. Thank you. And we have the Annex 5 that has been attached for this bank statement indicating that the amount was received in full. Thank you.
Thank you, Chair. In the subsequent year, 2023-2024, out of approved budget of 205 million, the fund received 71,750,000. That is what was received. And we can see that this is a cross-cutting issue, and it's no over. It's beyond the fund, but we keep raising it so that we can have the funds for service delivery. Thank you.
Yeah, it's an audit issue, even though it is beyond their, but it must appear as an audit issue. Now we have solutions with the members of the county assembly. What do you say, members?
Chair, on this one, I think we need to work together with the department so that we get the finance department to release for them money in time. And I know, Chair, we do meet with Senate over some audit reports. I think it's time that we bring out this issue. Things like bursary, we cannot peg into the half-yearly disbursements as they put in our acts, because bursaries, if you start in June and the year is ending in December, I think they either get it early in that financial year or latest early the next calendar year of the school. If we can't do that, then this is an audit question that will keep recurring, because with the Public Finance Management Act, they can only get half of the budgeted money in the first half of the financial year and the next half in the next financial year. And when the Treasury delays with the release of the exchequer, they also delay in receiving the money to expend. And I want to agree with the auditor that this audit query, rather, it's beyond their control. But it has to appear, because they have to ask why they can't spend money within the same financial year. Thank you, Chair.
Any other member? And we must always be very clear when we are doing all this. I think when we prioritize on where funding must go, it is very important that we prioritize education, the Department of Education, given the time frame for bursaries and school calendar. It is always very important. And as members of the County Assembly, we have to insist on that so that the things can be done correctly according to priorities. So one of the things we have to agree on is we have to prioritize education, and especially the bursary fund. You can remember the other time we were blaming the department for failing to do what is expected, but at the same time they had been controlled from the treasury, the county treasury. So we really believe and sympathize with you that this matter should always be solved by the county assembly. And fortunately now, we have 3 members who belongs to the budget committee. We'll make sure we talk as a house, then we agree on the way forward. Thank you. Next question.
Thank you, Chair. Unresolved prior year matters. In the audit report of the previous year, several paragraphs were raised under the report on financial statements, report on roughness and effectiveness in use of public resources, and report on effectiveness of internal controls, risk management and governance. However, the management has not resolved the issues nor given any explanation for failure to adhere to the provisions of the Public Sector Accounting Standards Board template. Thank you.
Back to the management.
Yeah, thank you, Chair. On other matters, titled Unresolved Prior Year Matters, as indicated earlier, the management attached Annex 1, which indicate the progress that has been made by the management in regards to resolving the prior year's audit issues that has been raised and given in terms of recommendations. We as a management, we also state that there are still issues with regards to delaying of disbursement of funds. There are other challenges that we are trying to ensure that we address in regards to schedules and ledgers to support amount disclosed in the financial statements. And in the subsequent years, we've managed to address most of these issues, including the unsupported cash and cash equivalents, long outstanding interest, and therefore, as a management, we commit to continually improve and address these particular issues in order to ensure that we comply with the reporting template and this prudent utilization of the public funds. Thank you.
Chief, you are responding contrary to what auditor is talking about. You haven't shown anything. You don't, there's no evidence to show that. Or,
Chair, if you look at our responses, in the financial statement we had put in we had attached the Annex 1, which is a progress report on the follow-up of prior year's auditor's recommendation, showing what we have done and what we have not done. But beyond that, Chair, allow me just to point out 3 areas where we have improved. Although I may not have been able to provide the evidence. 1, we have improved in our cash book. This financial year, all the transactions have been recorded, both the inflows and the outflows. We have also improved in our bank reconciliations.
But accountant, you know, we have to deal with evidence. If you don't have evidence, why, you know, verbal communications may be good, but, you know, if you don't have evidence, as you have just accepted that you don't have evidence, I think you should just stop from there. You know, with the, you want to take us for a ride, which is, yeah.
Chair, let me take that particular response in this manner. That the issues that has been raised actually are part of the queries that we've handled as we were trying to respond on these matters. One of the issues that has been raised by the auditors, the audit is acknowledgement of receipts, which we've done a tremendous improvement of the same. And even based on the evidence that we've been able to provide, you can tell that we have reduced those cases, and in the financial year that is 2023-2024, we've even done letters to the institution through the Teacher Service Commission, and we are able to probably get this particular acknowledgement of receipt. So we've done much in terms of ensuring that we comply. Another one is on budget control performance, which we've indicated that there is much work that has been done, and we thank this House and the members of the County Assembly for the House resolution that we got. And those are some of the issues that we are talking about in terms of addressing. Another issue that has been there is long outstanding interest, and I can actually report to this particular committee that the only pending interest that we have is one, which we are trying to address in the next few days, so that we are able to clear on the issues of unsurrendered interest. So there is much in terms of improvement. And when we talk about Annex 1, this also includes even the financial statement for this particular year, which the fund account had dedicated that in the next week, we'll be having the auditors in our offices so that we are able to walk through and see how much the milestone we've made, but we already provided the hard copies with them. Thank you so much.
So next week, that means going forward. So it is just going forward. It's going to be now. We have another committee here called Implementation Committee. Even if they don't come, it's always advisable that you state very clearly what you have improved on, and you address that that report to the Implementation Committee, copy to the Picpac. It will help you, so that when they don't come, we'll also deal with them here. It is very important that you do that, because all these matters, they will always appear in the subsequent audit queries. And it is quite unfortunate for us to repeat all these issues once, each and every time. So with that, you will be having evidence on what you have done so far without being asked by the auditor or the assembly. It is question 4.
Thank you, Chair. Long outstanding interest. The statement of financial position reflects outstanding interest balance of Kenya shilling 4,203,608, and as disclosed in Note 7 to the financial statements, owing from 7 officers. However, this interest had been outstanding for a long time, contrary to Regulation 93 Sub 5 of the PFM County Government Regulations 2015, which states that a holder of a temporary interest shall account or surrender the interest within 7 working days after returning to duty station. In the circumstances, the management was in breach of the law. Thank you.
Back to the management.
Yeah, thank you, Chair. On the basis for conclusion and a long outstanding interest, the management wishes to respond that we've ensured that all outstanding interests have been surrendered, except one which is amounting to 129,000 Kenya shillings, whose by the time we were giving a response had already existed the service. But I need to inform the committee that the particular office bearer that we are talking about is already back in service, and we make some follow-up on the same, which we know this particular issue is going to be resolved. We'll be given a timeline of which, if that is not done, then we are going to communicate to the county treasury for the deduction on the same from the salary. So this is going to be addressed moving forward. So the surrender documents.
Hello. Are you reading from the response or?
Chair had indicated that by the time we were responding to this, the holder had already existed. But now I'm also giving the position as per now, based on.
No, you are only allowed. You see how what auditor is doing. You are only allowed to read for your response.
Noted, Chair.
It is very clear. Now we'll be giving you opportunity to expound. Maybe the auditor is going to react. Members are going to react. Then we sum it out.
Noted.
Because it has to appear as written in the Hansard. So the moment you add up some other issues, you are now distorting the meaning of what you responded to.
Thank you, Chair. Let me take it back again, if you allow.
Yeah.
The management has ensured that all the outstanding interest have been surrendered except one for Kenya shillings, 129,000 Kenya shillings, whose holder had already existed the service. The surrender documents have been given to the auditor for review. Thank you.
From the evidence. From the evidence given, thank you. Thank you, Chair. From the evidence given, it's clear that it's only one imprest, which proves to be irrecoverable because of the officer who exited service. So for the other imprest, they have accounted, although not adequate, but they are supported, except for the other one, which seems to be difficult to recover. Thank you.
Back to the member.
Chair, and I will go with the date of the response, which is 4th October 2024. The department is saying that as at 4th October 2024, the officer, which is, I believe, out of that list, is Michael Adar, was not an employee of the county government. If this statement is true, if going by this report, that as of 4th of October 2024, Michael Adar was not an employee of the county government. I just want the chief officer to confirm that. Thank you, Chair.
Chief.
Yeah, Chair, to the best of my knowledge, by the time we were responding to this on 4th October, Michael Adar was not in service.
Okay.
So, Chair, going by that, how did he know that he's now in service? What communication does it have to prove that he is now in service as was alleged by the same chief officer?
Chief?
Yeah, thank you so much. We all know that Michael Adar worked in the department, and the moment I think he came back to the county, he reached out to me to tell me that he is back and would want at some point to come and offer his services and expertise within the department, even though he's been back to the county on a different portfolio. Thank you.
Honorable Rakwaj.
Thank you, Chair. Chair, I just want the Education Department to make this committee understand, because we know it is required by the law that if you are given imprint, you come and surrender. And it has been read, it is 7 days. So I really want to know this one, Michael Adar, if he exited the service within the 7 days in which he was supposed to surrender the imprest. If he exited within the 7 days, then that one will be another matter. But if at all he stayed past 7 days, then that is when he exited, then they have a case to answer why they could not make this officer surrender within the stipulated time, which is 7 days. So I really wish to know, how long did he take before he exited? Did he get his benefit? And if at all he did not make a comeback, then how would you have? have recovered it, and from where?
Chief, we can also help you because the auditor is indicating very clear that you can't recover. Who is this Adar? It's so big that it is more than even the chief officer, more than the minister, more than the directors. Who is he? And the law is very clear. Even if you are not in service, the law is very clear. You have to be answerable to what you did when you were in the office. We did it with the service board the other time. They brought matters here concerning mortgages and everything. We made sure they paid what is there. So if you are unable, kindly please open up, tell us. We make sure we deal with that kind of officer. Because for one is against the rule, the law. It is beyond the 7 days. You would like to know, and why did you allow him to do this? CPA?
Yes, Chair. I would want to weigh in with the following comments. Chair, it is true that this interest has been outstanding for a long time, beyond the 7 days. That's a fact. It's also in the record, Chair, that the department had written to Mr. Adar before he exited office to surrender this interest. However, it has been difficult, let's say that, for him to surrender this. But we are happy he's back. We can still make a follow-up now that he's back and recover this money from his. I think the best now is to move to his salary.
CPA, kindly. We talk about evidence. You know, when you come and you are talking about a letter, where is that letter? You know, we are not here for just, you know, what is required. You know, yes. Just resume your seat.
CPA is confirming that we employed somebody who would not surrender interest. He exited the service, and then we brought him back again with such pecuniary embarrassments. Are we honest to ourselves? If it's true what you are saying, that you wrote a letter to him, he refused to surrender, and then he exited, and then chapter 6, you know what chapter 6 says as you are submitting. And then we decide to bring the same person back again, we'll give him interest, then he refused to surrender again. Is that what we want for our county, Honorable Chair?
Maybe CPA to continue because he was making something. And in regard to that answer.
I didn't know that we would be required to provide this evidence, the letter that we wrote to Mr. Adar, but we have it in file. I request that you can give us some few days, Chair, to give it to this Honorable House. Mr. Chairman, with respect to bringing in Mr. Adar, I may not comment on behalf of the employing authority. I have no jurisdiction on that, so I may not be able to make a comment on that. But I want to assure this House that not all is lost. Because Mr. Adar is back, we can still pursue this thing and get it. If he cannot surrender, we can get it from his salary. But I agree, it's an embarrassment. The auditor has pointed out. We need to do more than what we have done so that we clear off these issues. Chair, I thank you.
Chairman Labour, it is fortunate you are in the House. We direct that you pick the issue from there. Yes, that is a work for you now. We need to deal with that rat. Yes.
Chair, as a member of the committee, I also managed to reach Michael Adar over the same. But in his submission, which is ready to present to the committee, he's saying he does not know about the 129,000 interest that we are discussing right now. So it would be just fair, now that he's back in the county, that we invite him together with CPA Orwa, so that we handle this thing in a much more professional way, because it's demeaning to his career to mention that a letter was written to him, he refused to surrender, and we have employed him back after exiting the service. I think it's something that needs much more handling than what we are right now. Thank you.
talk to him, or you have talked to him now?
Of expanding on this, I took responsibility as a member of the committee to ask him over the same, because it's very clear he has not surrendered. And if it's true that he is not an employee of the county government, and I was doing this, Chair, as a member of the committee. Thank you, Chair.
Yeah, thank you, Chair. Chair, I've gotten your concern, and I would like you please to make it official so that we can pick it from where you left it. Thank you.
Obviously, we will be part of that exercise, but we will give him a fair hearing. It is not, we have not actually resolved on the issue, just for the matter of helping the ministry, the department, so that it doesn't appear in the prior year issues. Maybe I can give Chief something to say.
Yeah, Chair. Allow me to say this, that the management has made tremendous effort in regards to settling the issues of outstanding interest, because based on the auditor's report, what they flagged out was over 4 million. And currently we are talking about 129,000 Kenya shillings. But Chair, I'll request with humility, because when Mr. Da reached out to me, as I indicated earlier, I also raised this issue with him, of course, through the phone call, and he promised that he's going to act on it. I'll request that before we bring it to the House and the relevant committee, that I do a letter to him. We have some correspondences and timelines so that we are able to address this internally first before we expedite it at the committee level and at the House Assembly. Thank you.
The request is going to be considered. It's not a must that he comes here. We'll be talking. It's going to inform part of our agenda for the first meeting. So that is an issue. We proceed.
Unsupported equitable distribution of bursary. The statement of financial performance reflects an amount of 103 million in respect of use of goods and services, which, as disclosed in Note 2, the financial statements includes 6,374,620, which relates to bursaries issued by the fund. However, the bursary awards were not supported with signed ward committee minutes and approved students list. In the circumstances, the equitable distribution of bursaries could not be confirmed. Thank you.
Back to the management.
Yeah, Chair. This is our response as a management, that we submitted the signed ward bursary and scholarship committee minutes and the schedule of the approved list of the beneficiaries in our response to the draft audit report. We, however, provided the signed minutes of the last ward committee meetings, which approved the final list of beneficiaries during the audit field, as annexed in number 5. And if you are able to look at the annex, those particular details are there. Thank you. Annex number 4, sorry, not 5, sorry, 4. Thank you.
Okay. Back to the data.
Resolved. It's addressed.
Okay. Back to the members. Members are satisfied?
We can see the minutes.
Yes.
And even one of them.
Even one of them.
The cartel.
Can you come clear?
Honorable Chair, we are satisfied. I think on this one they've brought the minutes, and I want to agree with the Office of the Auditor that this matter can be resolved.
So, in other words, we have confirmed there's equity in terms of distribution of bursary. Chairman Labor, are you? Chairman Sport? Chairman Implementation? Chairman Infrastructure and Roads? And the Chairman Education has just confirmed. And Vice Chair? Picpac? I think we are through with that. We should be having some parting shot. Maybe we can hear from the management.
I have one concern here.
Yes.
And I don't like taking people back. But I like clarity at the same time. Even though we passed this question, Chair, on the issue of 1,010,689, if I remember the figure so well, the explanation of the chief officer, and he mentioned there's a list in page 2 in which he mentioned the schools, including the one for Nairobi, which is 160,662, which it's true adds up to 1,010,689. But, Honorable Chair, if you look at the acknowledgement receipt, for example, for Ambira, the chief officer has mentioned that the acknowledgement receipts that they've provided is adding up to 324,280. Am I right, Honorable Chief Officer? Yes. That being the case, if it's true that the receipts that they were having is supposed to add up to 324,280, then the acknowledgement receipts that we are having here might be the wrong ones. Because if I add the acknowledgement receipts we're having for Ambira, one is 162,140, the other one is 210,000 flat. So if you add those two, Honorable Chair, I think it's give you 372,140. But the chief officer had mentioned that they have 5 acknowledgement receipts from the following schools, and Ambira being one of them, it should add to 324,280. That gives a variance which the committee clerk will provide.
Thank you, Chair. Chair, I just wish to implore on our friends from the executive, that is the Department of Education, that whatever issues which are being raised here should just be an eye open, so that in the subsequent years, financial years, we don't have a repeat of the same, so that we can improve on our opinion. Otherwise, thank you so much for coming. Thank you for taking your time. Thank you.
Honorable Were.
Thank you, Chair. Chair, I just want to thank the management team for having come to shed more light. In that spirit, Chair, I just want to urge them that they should try their level best so that we can improve on the opinion that are given by the Office of the Auditor, so that we can bring confidence to our people. They should trust us with the services, with the care, knowing that their money is being spent in a more prudent manner. Thank you, Chair.
Chair Sports.
Thank you, Chair. I just want to appreciate the department for coming, and Chair, as the chief have said that there's an improvement, we have to say kudos for that, and maybe I'll request the chief officer just to put a task on each and every member that for the impressed issues, because these are the things that brings us here most of the times. But if you can work on the impressed issues that the stipulated time that is being taken, even at least everybody has to give back the impressed in 7 days. If not, kindly just remind them, because we are all human beings. And I think I'll appreciate you for that. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Chair. What I would urge the executive chair, moving forward, we need to see the best practices so that we don't repeat ourselves on issues which we have seen before. Thank you.
Thank you. We are getting back to the executive.
Yeah, thank you, Chair. Mine is to appreciate first the auditor and the Office of the Auditor General for the great work that they are doing to ensure that the management is able to effectively and efficiently serve the people of Kisumu, looking into the laws and the legal frameworks that are there, so that we are able to comply in accordance to those particular legal frameworks, and also ensuring that we have the internal controls, the checks and balances, and how to handle the risks that are emanating as a result of governance-related issues. And we hope to work closely to ensure that there is prudent utilization of the public funds. I also appreciate so much the committee for ensuring that we have this particular engagement, and we promise as a department and as management that we are going to improve, and in the next financial statement audit that is going to take place for the last financial year, we hope to get what we call unqualified opinion. Thank you so much.
Back to the Office of the Auditor.
Thank you, Chair. I also want to thank the management for the work they are doing. And I want to echo my colleagues here that you've been in the same position for long. You've been in number 3. When you get an adverse report, according to the way we rank you, you become number 3. So it's high time you moved to maybe qualified the way you said, and even unqualified if possible. It's doable. So as we embark for the audit of 2023-24, which is starting next week, just to try your best to minimize on unnecessary queries, like unsupported. Why? And you have the documents. Why is it that when we are there, it's unsupported, and after we leave, you support? It even raises eyebrows that where are those documents when they are being brought later on? So let's support each and every activity or transactions which we do on the ground. Let's make sure our records are properly maintained, and we'll minimize on unnecessary questions, as we have said. Thank you so much, and God bless.
Vice Chair.
Thank you so much, Chair. Let me extend to the Office of the OAG. And Chair, I thought that the management will be worried by the opinion that they are getting, but it seems that even the committee members are even more worried with the adverse opinion than the management. And Chair, there's some that you've given for some of the documents to be surrendered. and we are not going to take it lightly. The timelines that have been given, make sure that you are there to them. And as the representatives of the people, maybe next time, if you're dealing with the education fund, we will need a breakdown of how 205 million for the bursary and scholarships. Each and every voted that is given there. I think Chair will be interested in that also next time. Sometimes it defeats logic that we are mainly here. Our aim is here is to ensure transparency and effective use of resources. And we cannot achieve that if you are not providing us with the supportive schedules. And I think, Chair, going forward, we'll be very strict on each and every schedule and journal that is used so as to enhance our work here. And I believe that you're also going to be worried with the opinion, and hopefully next time we'll get a different opinion. Thank you, Chair.
Thank you very much. We are coming to the end of the session. May I take this opportunity to appreciate the Office of the Auditor General, the Office of the Executive Fund Managers, members of the County Assembly, and the members of the staff. Actually, we are through with the exercise. And I have some few comments to make. As a department concerned with matters of education, we don't expect adverse opinion from you. We expect a better opinion, not the one presented to us today. This is now giving you time to go and improve so that you don't be in the of some others, but you be in your own class. It is very important. We must also appreciate the Office of the Auditor General. It has given us the best support so far as the committee and as County Assembly of Kisumu. We still look forward to work very closely with them with a good relationship. It is very important we do it that way. And to the department, you know, we value you so much, although we value some other departments too, but you know you shape the future of our people. You work very closely with matters which are affecting our people today and in future. So this is why at times when you come here, we stick to our ground and we ask you several questions because we want the best for our people. This is our collective responsibilities, not only for the Assembly. It is not only for the Executive, not for the Auditor General's office, but it's for the betterment of Kisumu people. So whatever we are doing here, it is for the best of our own people, as a representative of the people, and our role is to oversight what we are doing. So we are doing our work, and we will continue doing that, and we appreciate that you have been cooperating very closely with the Assembly of Kisumu. We have had some kind of resolutions which now belongs to the Assembly. Some we have to work on as members of the County Assembly. Some we have to work on, and given the advice of the data, we'll move forward together as a county. Otherwise, thank you so much. The meeting remain adjourned. Thank you.